まただ。 So, if you've been reading the recent chapters of Black Clover, then of course you would know that this manga is on fire! Evacuate the premises immediately! The manga is flaming! I repeat, the manga is flaming!
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Fire! Oh my god! Okay, it's happening! Everybody stay calm! What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm! Move it! Okay, procedure! Everybody calm down! Exit option! Where do we go, folks?
So yeah, it's been pretty good lately. Maybe a little confusing, and maybe it's raised more questions than it's answered, but it's been pretty good. Now why, you may ask? Because somehow in just one chapter, Yuki Tabata introduced to us a character that would undeniably be a better main character than the actual main character, at least in my opinion. Now whoa there, slow your roll, buddy. Don't get the wrong idea. I love me some Asta. I made a whole video about him and how great he is, so please don't misunderstand. But in just one single chapter, and not even a long one, it was like 15 pages, I felt more for Liebe than I have felt for almost any character in the entire series up to this point. I'm calling him Liebe. I don't know how it's actually pronounced, but that's what I'm gonna call him.
Liebe.
But his backstory is more tragic than anyone else's, and he's been hurt more than anyone else. More than them, and 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 okay, you get it. I personally feel that Liebe could have been the main character since the beginning, and if it had started with him taking center stage, I really have to wonder how different things would be up to this point. Now, I'm not gonna go and explain every little difference this change would bring, because I don't want to think too much about how different Black Clover should be when I'm perfectly fine and satisfied with what it is. But I do want to look at why Liebe is just as fit, if not even more fit, to be the main protagonist of Black Clover, as well as why, in a sense, kind of has been the whole time. Now, before I do all that, if you're new here, please don't let the fact that I haven't uploaded in 2 months discourage you from liking this video and subscribing. I'm just a very, very, very busy person. I edit full-time for Anime Balls Deep, and that comes with a very stressful work schedule. So I rarely have time to do any of my own content, but I always come back at some point with a video that I'm proud of, and today is no different. The first thing I want to focus on is the fact that Liebe has been part of the story as long as Asta has, if not longer. He was born in the underworld, which is essentially hell, and he spent every single day there being beaten and abused by those bigger and stronger than him, until he accidentally left when an angry higher-up devil threw him out in an attempt to kill him. But because he had no mana, he was able to slip right through the gate between the two worlds. This didn't make him any safer, however, because while the devils towered over him and looked down upon him, the humans were frightened by him and thought he was going to curse them, so they chased him away with strong magic power, and he felt like he didn't really belong anywhere in this world. Not with his own kind, and not with those of the human realm. He knew nothing but pain and suffering. He wanted to die, and he almost did. Now, right off the bat, he suffered more than Asta by a long shot. Asta may have faced a lot of unfair adversity, but he was still seen as a human, just a human who couldn't do something so fundamentally common as using magic. And he had people in his life who taught him he can do what he sets his mind to, and that his dreams aren't stupid or a waste of time. Liebe was literally treated like dirt. Not a day went by in hell, or even on Earth, that he didn't bleed and wish he was not alive. That is depressing. Like, that makes me want to pick him up and give him a hug, show him what love and compassion is, and I'm pretty sure that's the feeling we all got when reading chapter 268. But thankfully, he does not die and soon wakes up to an entirely new life. A life with the one human on Earth who would accept him and show him love. A fine-looking waifu named Lasita, who also understands the feeling of not fitting in and being lonely, as she has faced this her entire life as well. Lasita has a body that constantly sucks away the mana and life force of any living thing she comes into proximity with, and thus was forced to live separated from the rest of the world. But Liebe was a different story. He had no mana, so she couldn't absorb anything from him. She took him in and gave him the life he deserved, showing him kindness and asking for nothing in return because just his company was more than enough. Now, I'm not gonna go and recite the whole chapter, this is not that kind of video, but I'm mentioning all this because it only adds more weight to his suffering. anyway, because we all know what happens next. Liebe loses the one person who meant anything to him. More than the devils in hell, more than the people who chased him down, and even more than himself. Lisita was the first person to ever love him, so she was the first person he ever loved. And he saw her die right before his eyes, before being stored away inside a 5-leaf grimoire for years and years. What the frick?
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Okay, so let's just sum up what his life has been like. He was born in hell, treated like literal crap there, treated like literal crap on Earth too, found one person who didn't treat him like literal crap, watched them die, and then got imprisoned in a book with no way of escape.
So much pain! So much pain!
So, we've clearly established that Liebe has lived a horrible, horrible life, enduring things that no one should ever have to. But how does this make him main character material? Well, on its own, it really doesn't. But what does is the fact that Liebe pretty much could have had Asta's life, while Asta pretty much could have had Liebe's life. If Asta had lost those he cared about, or not had them at all, he would have ended up like Liebe, lost and without any will to go on. While if Liebe hadn't lost Lisita, he might have ended up like Asta is now, full of hope and determination to live his life to the fullest and chase big dreams. Maybe even want to be the Wizard King. Who knows? Now, I'm sure you've heard this before, but they are two sides of the same coin, and I know what you're thinking. Anime Balls Deep already said this. You're copying him. Unsubscribe. Stop it right there. Don't forget I work with ABD, and I've had a small hand in creating these theories, even if it's really, really small. These are a collaborative effort, guys, okay?
No!
But I'm not saying all this to make it known. Of course, you all know the similarities between the two of them. They're obvious, and they don't need pointing out. What I'm doing here is saying that Liebe, because of his extra suffering, could have been an even better version of Asta, because he endured even more pain, yet was able to overcome it for a time and find happiness, while Asta, more or less, always had it in some way, shape, or form. More than anything, I think this all proves that Liebe is a great character, and it's very obvious Tabata had this all planned since the beginning. His backstory was really deep and emotionally impactful, and you can tell he put a lot of care into its execution. We can also see throughout the series that because of his experiences with Lisita, he's developed some kind of compassion and generosity, as we've seen him on a number of accounts helping Asta and allowing him to become stronger, as well as assisting him in helping those he cares for. For instance, when Asta got the Demon Destroyer sword, we all assumed it was his grimoire, just kind of doing what grimoire do, and giving him what he needs when he needs it. But what if this was Liebe? He can obviously see what's happening from inside the grimoire, and he must have seen Father Orsi dying on the ground. Knowing how important he is to Asta might have triggered his memories of Lisita and made him want to help him out. And I mean, this isn't confirmed, but it would explain a lot of things, and I think it would make Liebe an even better character. I mean, he's already one of the best characters in the entire series, so why not make him the best he can be?
It's facts! It's facts! These are not facts. These facts are not facts.
Sadly, this video is not very long because I had to edit it myself, and I don't usually have a lot of time to do that kind of stuff. But if you enjoyed what you watched, please let me know in the comments, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell to see when I put out my next video. When will that be? I don't know. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time! Bye-bye!